What's up, you bodacious, body-stacking booty bumblers? Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Live from the lair. It's
And
more
the
remotely live from the lair, but you know.
It's remotely live from the lair because I'm still sick and I have a fever. So
yeah, and I don't want any of that. Thank you.
That's just how things roll. So welcome to Thought Thursday. And we have a lot of thoughts for you today.
Oh my God.
And I'm wearing this shirt because I realized that on Tuesday I forgot to wish my brother a happy birthday. So happy birthday,
vaginal third day, you Navy faggot.
And my son's 9th birthday was yesterday, so double winning. A lot of September birthdays. A lot of people like to whip it out and start beating it apparently around Christmas time. Although not master debating.
Yeah. Yeah. Typically, babies born in September were the put it in my butt babies at New Year's.
Put it in my butt. Yeah, that never backfires.
Just saying, if you're born in September, your mama was getting it on or sometime in January. I'm just saying.
Oh, somebody was getting their stocking stuffed, and it wasn't with jujubes and whatever else that people get around that time of year.
Yeah.
If you were my ex who decided to leave me for a gay dude, you got like Astroglide and butt plugs and like the numbing lube.
Good times. Good
I'm
times.
not going to say she didn't have it coming all over her face, neck, back, thighs, and lower back. I'm just saying.
Just saying.
Things do happen. Oh man, well, we got a hell of a show for you tonight. If you guys didn't watch last night, I'm sure Jimmy Bones mentioned this, but we got a cease and desist over copyright BS. So from now on, during the super chat portion of the stream, we're not going to be doing anything that's emailed that we can't look at, like pictures, what have you, because that always stops the show dead to do like try not to dox people, and the videos that we get sent, if we don't know what they are ahead of time, it puts the show at risk, and we want to be here for you guys.
Yeah. And listen, we knew this was going to come.
It was inevitable.
I mean, we have a lot of people that hate us and literally watch the show just to basically hate fuck us for whatever reason, even though we're talking about the truth and we have all our sources, but somehow, we're the, enemy to society, I guess. I don't know.
So it doesn't mean to not send in your stuff, though. Feel free to super chat things, email them to us, what have you. We're going to archive them, watch them, pick all the best ones, and then we're going to do fucked up at funny streams probably twice a month, possibly more, depending on how much stuff you guys send in. So
yeah. And you guys
send it, feel free.
And you guys can ask questions. I mean, if you have if you have any doubts or questions about what we're talking about, feel free to super chat your questions in, man, and we'll deal with it.
Darn tootin'. What a nut roll. I'm going to turn my feed up a little bit because Jimmy said it sounded like I was talking into a Pringles can. We don't want that.
So, yeah, you don't want that, no.
No, we don't want that at all. You know what you really don't want? Or should I say, but you know what you really don't want? Women on the football field. It's not a very good idea. But apparently, if you're ESPN, you're going to think it's the second coming to see a chick on the football field.
Yeah, here we go.
NCAA is celebrating the first female non-kicker to get football playing time, and this is the single play that she did. So I'm gonna see. So history is made. Shenandoah safety number 10, Haley Van Voris. I'm sorry, Freudian slip there. I called her Van Horis. Becomes the first female non-kicker to appear in a college football game at the NCAA or NAIA levels, and this is what happened.
They spilled about the 22-yard line. So now third down intermediate from their own 23, 24-yard line.
10 right here.
Yeah, third down, another big play. As I said, formationally really diverse for the Eagles. Usually they mix up being under center and in the gun, but so far they were exclusively in the gun.
German with trips left, throws under duress, incomplete. I think Quentin Stevens heard a lot of footsteps and came up empty at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, so that was her one play. So she ran at the quarterback completely unimpeded, and the team happened to be up 26 points in the first quarter.
All right, so this is exactly what happened. And I know because I was the second string lackey on my football team for 4 years. And the only time I actually got any time on the field is when we were winning by a lot or we were losing by an incredible margin. That's it.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it just cracked me up. I mean, there was literally no risk having her on the field because not one person tried to block her. And then she just ran at the quarterback and hurried him along. And that was pretty much it.
That's
yay. Congratulations. So
listen.
That's really what it's all about, is headlines and this one
Yes.
team getting to say, "Hey, look at us. We're all inclusive."
But guess what? If you decide to fuck around with full contact, sooner or later, that's exactly what you're gonna get.
It's going to be
So
interesting now,
you
isn't it?
need to be real careful for the arenas that you want to play around in, because some of those will get you hurt or even killed.
Amen to that. Ugh. As I apologize if there's issues with the quality tonight, gentlemen. Again, there's nothing I can do about it. My internet seems to be taking a 140 character dump lately. I have no idea what's wrong with it. I've done everything that I can. I restarted the computer. This one is not even running internet right now. Like,
Hey,
ugh.
we can only do what we can do, and if you have to call, the cable AT&T and
Oh,
bitch,
it's
that
gonna happen. Yeah, big time. It's gonna happen because I've just it shouldn't have to be this way. It's a bunch of crap. So, and I'm
especially if you have fiber.
yeah, that's another problem. Yeah, like this is fiber optic, and I pay like $100 a month for my internet. So, like, what the hell? Yeah,
Yeah, I would
Jimmy
definitely.
Bones said it best. He says, "I've got the Amber Heard internet. Shit in the bed. Disgusting."
Gotcha.
Ugh. But could always be worse. It could,
Yeah. It can always get worse,
yep, and it is.
And a planet could hit us, sun
Yep.
could explode. I mean,
Here we go. Miss Universe Zimbabwe is a white woman, and the internet is having a totally normal reaction. Oh, it's widespread debate on social media after awarding its top honor to a white model.
Mm.
I'm sorry. So I thought it was stunning and brave when we race swapped everything under the sun that's coming out from Disney.
I know, but yeah, this. All right, now, okay. First of all, I'm not going to bash on the woman because
No, this is not her problem at
it's
all.
not her fault. All
No.
right. The problem I have is with the media turning everything into such divisive, things like race and politics and men and women. It's all divisive fighting bullshit, and it doesn't need to happen.
Yep. It's rather pathetic, honestly, when you think about it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. It's always okay, and we need to just suck it up and accept that times they are a changing. When when we cast like a Latina looking actress as Snow White, all this BS, and
Here we go.
but here we go. Well, somebody from this country, born and raised, becomes Miss Zimbabwe, happens to be white. Oh my goodness, look at all these tweets.
Mm.
Mugabe would be so mad. For me, it's the fact that white people are not even embarrassed or ashamed to be doing all these. Is this a joke? I'm not condemning her. I'm just surprised. Had to research and notice
Why?
the country's a nation of immigrants. What exactly do you look for when judging? Because no. Oh, I'm sorry. You think that this nice looking woman can't compete with the cover of National Geographic?
Well, I've seen some of the covers of National Geographic, and
Yes.
much.
They are do your boobs hang low? Can you knock them to and fro? Can you tie them in a knot? Can you tie them in a bow? That kind of shit.
Yeah, I got you.
The white Jesus lovers. White supremacy is a worldwide nasty business. Apparently, the big business of lies and deception are simply too deep and depraved here. Is this real? Orwell was so right, says the person who advocates for censorship.
Yeah.
Pretty racist, right? Here we go. So, oh,
I don't know, man. Here's the thing.
What's the thing?
All right. Africa was colonized extensively in the late 1700s through the 1800s. And listen, the Dutch, the French, the Italians, the Germans, who are fucking ruthless, by the way, all had portions and countries and what have you. So there's going to be Caucasians in Africa. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Well, even better, you take a look at this other tweet right here. Spot the difference. On Yahoo, my ancestors rolling in they graves. White woman wins 2023 Miss Universe Zimbabwe over melanated candidates, as opposed to when a first black woman was crowned Miss Ireland and history making win. So it's totally okay when it happens in Ireland.
Yes.
And the person has melanin in their skin, but it's white supreme pizza when it happens the other way. Wah.
Yeah, correct. And you better have your pesto sauce.
I mean, when you actually look at the planet, we are the minority.
Yeah.
So shouldn't we be championing that minorities are doing well in other continents? Apparently not, because
But
that would
hang
actually
on.
make sense.
You're right. We are a minority. But we are a minority who's almost destroyed the earth twice in 2 world wars, have been basically conquering and dominating the world since, I don't know, the 1400s-ish. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what it is about Caucasians that make us such, just savage warriors, but it just is what it is. I don't know.
So what you're saying is they're jealous because they wish they could do it better.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, if you think about it, we literally, every country we went to, we dominated because of technology or whatever.
Uh-huh.
We were more organized in how we did things. And, we came into a country that was, their government was tribes, and our government was a whole kingdom or a whole country. There's no comparison there.
No.
Yeah, you got 500 guys, 1,000 guys in a tribe, got 10 million people in a country. It's literally, it's just more efficient.
Yep. And it's kind of hard to push your whole "we was kangs and shit" when you have a whole continent virtually to yourselves, where there's very few developed areas.
And
So instead, now that the new cope is to just attempt to take credit for everybody else's cultural and scientific achievements.
well, in Africa,
It's not really going over too well because of that pesky thing. What's that called? Oh yeah, the truth. Yeah.
correct. Well, the thing is, those developed areas in Africa, those areas were all colonized by a European country.
Oh.
So that infrastructure that was put in, we did, because it's not a tribe, it's a country, it's more organized.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing is that when people whine about white supreme pizza, they're really sore losers.
Well, this is another thing, is we keep hearing, about the colored in America saying that they built the country.
Yeah, right.
If they were responsible for building this country, then Africa would be like a mega apocalypse place or something.
Exactly.
And
If
it's not.
slavery is what builds nations, the Middle East and Africa and Asia would be the most technologically advanced, well-developed places on the planet. They're not.
Yeah, there's more slaves today than there ever were during the 17 and 1800s.
But that's using logic, Pop. That's white supreme pizza, just like showing up on time and
using math.
using math. Oh no,
That pesky stuff that runs the universe, math. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? And I like my white supreme pizza with pepperoni and extra cheese.
There you go.
But I mean, how dare us expect consistency and logic from the modern leftoid, especially when this is our governor.
Hang on. We have things in space that can see to the other side of the universe. And at the same time, when you go to the gas station, there's a sticker warning you not to put it in your mouth or your anus. Okay. We as a race are fucked.
Mhm.
I remember I saw that the other day. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me?
Wow. I mean, you gotta love modernity. It's just things that you would swear on a stack of Bibles were satire have not only come true, but they have been surpassed by a freaking mile. That's how bad it's gotten. And when you look at this here, Gretchen Schittler, our governor, signs a law banning marriage for those under 18 to protect them from abuse and life-altering decisions that children aren't prepared to make.
Wow. But but if they're under 18 and they feel they're not in the right body, it's okay to start cutting shit off, right?
Thank you for pointing that out, because guess what? Yeah, guess who advocates for transgender surgery for kids without parental consent
There you go.
and wants to integrate it into the state's constitution? So, yeah, so children are not old enough to get married, which I can absolutely agree with. But
Yeah.
they're old enough to pump their bodies full of things that will likely give them cancer,
Uh-huh.
remove their ability to ever experience an orgasm, likely wind up with them dying young either by their own hands or by medical malfeasance, because that's what all of this is.
Now, the whole under
That's
18
kind of grave.
thing, right, historically, when girls reach about 12 to 13, 14 back in the day, their fathers were already looking to get them married off and get them out of the house and, get on with their lives and shit. And back then, I guess it was necessary because times were significantly harder than they are today. But yeah, I literally, no one under the age of 18 should be getting married willingly or not.
Yeah.
Because that is a serious life decision, has very, very important or even dangerous repercussions.
Yep.
And I don't really have a problem with my governor signing this, because I don't want to see people get married under 18, because it's a train wreck if you're, over 18 as it is.
Oh, yeah.
But the thing that bothers me is she's playing the sympathy card for this while ignoring the other aspect of the trans craziness.
Uh-huh. Well, and like I said, you absolutely cannot expect any sort of consistency from the modern leftoid. And Gretchen Schittler is about as far left as you can get.
Yeah, and I have
And
no
the
idea
murder,
how
by the
she
way.
was able to get into power and stay in there. Well, we all know that,
Oh, well, she stole her reelection hook, line, and sinker. We know that.
well, and also the person they picked to run against her was a lame duck anyway. She was a piece of
Well,
shit.
kind of a lame duck, but even still, she was ahead in votes all day until magically 2 statistically impossible ballot dumps suddenly put Whitmer back in the lead.
Yep.
Gee, it's almost like it's 2020 all over again. Fuck's sakes. But that's not as bad as it gets. We're going to take a little break and read a couple of your YouTube chats here before we really get into the meat and potatoes of tonight's stream, because it is a doozy. You guys are going to love this. We got a few chats here from Shaggy Sunshine. Hey, guys, long night, so going for a nap. I'll listen later. Cheers. Well, enjoy your nap, sir. Alex Patino says, in Zimbabwe, white people are a minority, so diversity is working across the world. Austin Walt Johnson with a $50 donation. Thank you very much. You get one of these, good sir.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
29 years of walking on this dirt ball and stupid stories that had me playing the Dumba tax. Raises shot glass. Here's to another few decades of craziness. Happy birthday, sir. And Cool Cat says, much love and respect to all. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you,
Mr. Cool Cat. Now, this next person that we're going to be talking about here is a journalist. in the loosest sense of the term, not to be confused with the loosest sense of her slut C. And she thinks nobody should care about a woman's body count.
Oh my God. Oh, and
Now-
is that Andrew Tate in the picture?
It is.
Oh,
Now,
okay.
I'm gonna spoil something for you. Okay, I have read this entire article start to finish. It is about 12 paragraphs long. Now, ordinarily in journalism, it's kind of like writing an essay in school. Okay, you begin with a thesis, and then for the remainder of the essay, you are supposed to create a narrative that supports that thesis.
Correct.
Helen Lewis never even attempts to do this in 12 paragraphs.
Well, because it's propaganda, bro.
Well, it's because a woman's like caring about a woman's body count and all this stuff and trying to like women know that body count is an issue, which is why they lie about it constantly, which makes this indefensible.
Correct.
And how do you defend it? Well, you go on the attack.
Well, also, you got to understand is they are trying to control us with guilt, blame, and shame.
That's exactly what this article is. So we'll go through this paragraph by paragraph, and you're going to see just how insane this is. She never once attempts to actually explain why a woman's body count shouldn't matter. Ever since Elon Musk's lackeys began fiddling with the algorithms of X, formerly Twitter, so already you know that she is basically on the I hate the current thing train.
Correct.
I have noticed a distinct shift in the content that is pushed onto users. My For You tab is now a nest of trad wives, shoplifting videos, and that guy who has strong opinions on trouser creases. It is also home to the kind of old-fashioned me so G whiny that I once thought I was on the decline. Oh, I'm sorry. So you were so used to your echo chamber, your leftoid echo chamber, you could pretend like ideas that disagree with your feminism weren't mainstream. Oh,
Wait,
oh,
shut
I'm
up.
sorry. It makes me want to just fuck off.
Yeah.
It's not fair. I'm supposed to be able to hide from ideas that I don't like and call them bad names because I'm a journalist. Oh, it only gets worse from here, gentlemen. If you don't have anything strong to drink, I strongly suggest that you pour yourself one now. And that's because X, I love this, a small social network beloved by journalists. It's one of the largest websites in the world. A small social is now providing a window into a much bigger part of the internet, one that is simultaneously absurdly popular and almost invisible to outsiders. It is the interlinking Venn diagram of Twitch streamers, mixed martial arts, wrestling, and boxing fandoms, manosphere influencers, and video game commentators. The way that these guys turn up on one another's podcasts, X feeds, and live streams, and their habit of physically fighting one another for money makes them seem like a younger, more ripped version of the intellectual dark web.
What?
And your complaint is?
Well, first of all, what do you mean they're fighting each other?
I guess like Logan Paul. Logan Paul.
He's a professional fighter.
Well, he wasn't before. He was just a YouTuber. He has like 20 million subscribers, something like that. And then he decided one day he was just gonna, get buff and start kicking the shit out of people.
Oh, yeah, I have no problem with that. I mean,
oh, that's fine. I mean, you would be rather hypocritical of you if you did.
The thing is, it's when you read this, it sounds like it's just utter pandemonium with male influencers fighting each other willy nilly. That is not the case.
Yeah, it's obvious that her entire goal with this is not to actually prove her point. It's to create a moral outrage. And that becomes ever more clear in these next couple of paragraphs.
Yeah, it's basically the smoke screen for the guilt attack.
Yep, and it begins hard and heavy, just like your mama likes it in here. One of the obsessions of the worst parts of this group, call them the influential jerk web, is body count discourse in which women, always women, are shamed for the number of sexual partners they've had. The phrase has gained popularity so quickly that Jason Derulo has released a song about it. Now, Derulo is okay with a high body count. Apparently, a quote from his song is, "All that ass must be good at math," he observes, but others are not. A lot of the world's problems could be fixed if women walked around with their body count on their foreheads, the professional kickboxer turned sexist influencer Andrew Tate said in one viral clip. A bit rich, you might think, coming from a self-confessed former pimp who is currently awaiting trial on kangaroo court, I inserted that there, human trafficking and rapé charges. But Tate is only one of many influencers who talk like ayatollahs while adhering to the beauty standards of Ryan Gosling and Barbie. Go ahead.
She said pimp, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's dissect this. Okay. Now, from what I understand, Mr. Tate used to run like a webcam business or something. All right. Now, I personally would never do something like that. But, you know, to each his own. He didn't do anything illegal. And now everyone is, you know, attaching all of these labels to him that, in my opinion, don't apply. Now, I've listened to a lot of stuff Mr. Tate had to say. I agree with the majority of it, but not all of it, because I do not have a cult mentality. But he is absolutely correct when he talks about men today being weak and needing to get on their frame and reignite their masculinity. 100%. Yeah, and then, you know, the people who get mad at him, well, he could phrase it more tactfully. How the hell do you talk to fucking evil? Are you nice to evil's feelings? Do you care what evil thinks or says about you? No. You are never cordial with evil. You never agree with it. Period.
Yeah.
You know, and listen, they call me all kinds of names as well, and all I'm doing is trying to keep you guys from killing yourselves by talking about real world shit and throw a few jokes in there.
Yeah. And I don't know, I think it was about 8 months ago, Paul Joseph Watson did a video about the awaiting trial for human trafficking and rapé charges, and how numerous women who have worked for him in the past have come to his defense, and the court over there won't even talk to them.
Nope.
So, I mean, we know this is a dog and pony show. It's a witch hunt, just like with Trump. It is what it is. How I will say this, how Tate handles himself, like, oh, you know, look at me, I'm so ripped, and here's all my expensive stuff, my cars and whatnot. It makes him easy for people who don't like him to tear him down, because it does come off as like that douchebaggery, like materialism thing. Like, like women are trash, but here I am putting myself out there in a way that would attract the same kind of women that I can't stand. Like, it's a little hinky. I get it though.
But, you know, I mean,
it doesn't mean his message is bad.
You know, it doesn't mean his message is bad, but like you and I, Blake, we're not motivated by money.
No.
I mean, money's nice, but we're not grifting and trying to sell a bunch of people shit they don't need.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Exactly.
That's the difference, I guess.
Yeah. But you can see the blame and shame is kicking in big time. But once again, what do the guys talking about body count have to do with your assertion that no one should care about it, that it shouldn't matter? Just asking.
Well, you know, if you're going to trade stock, you do your research.
Yeah.
You read up on the company. You look back, you know, 10, 15 years to see how the company did in different economic circumstances. And then you make predictions of what do you think that stock is going to do in the future based off past performance. This is simple logic.
Yeah.
Right? If you're with a woman who's been the town bicycle, at some point, you're going to get rotated out, because the feels won't be there anymore because she can't pair bond.
Yeah. I mean, according to these women who think body count should not matter, Uh, businesses that have a huge problem with like shoplifting should just hire felons because their past doesn't matter, right?
Correct.
And women know that it's bullshit. Why? Because they love to throw this phrase out there all the time when dealing with a-holes that they love to complain about but can't stop fucking. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Sounds
Correct.
like somebody's judging somebody else by their past to me.
That's exactly what they're doing. And you would be right to do that.
Exactly. Past behavior is an indicator of future behavior.
Correct.
Here we go. These men provide Gen Z and younger millennials with a very old template for masculinity filtered through the new visual grammar and vocabulary of YouTube, Twitch, and TikTok. Take the mixed martial artist Dylan Dennis, who is scheduled to fight the YouTuber turned pro wrestler Logan Paul in a boxing match in Manchester, England on October 14th. In the past 5 years, influencer boxing has become a lucrative content machine. Logan and his brother Jake, who have more than 20 million YouTube followers each, have led a trend along the British streamer JJ Olatunji, better known as KSI. Their venues are located around the world in places such as Texas and Saudi Arabia, and the fights make thousands of dollars on pay-per-view. Influencer boxing is characterized by the kind of pre-match smack talk familiar from professional wrestling, but internetified. And that means, unfortunately, a torrent of sexually inflected misogyny. I'm sorry. How is violence in any way between two men duking it out in the ring reflective of hatred toward females?
Well, hang on. This is a standard tactic women use to invade male spaces and then destroy them.
Yes.
We've seen it done with the Boy Scouts. They're doing it to the Army. Like literally, as a dude, you have a hard time finding any kind of club or place to hang out with other dudes and just do dude shit. Because when they show up and then they want everyone to change because they're offended. Yeah, go to hell.
Yeah.
Go to hell. Seriously. And that's one of the main reasons we got the Redonkulas regiment here. Is I'm trying to bring like-minded people together so we can communicate, laugh, see what's going on in the real world, and realize we are not out of our minds. We're not crazy.
No.
We're just reacting logically to the insanity of the world.
Yeah. And when she talks about an old template of masculinity, that's hidden shaming language as well. It
Correct.
means that if you adhere to any form of traditionalism, you're bad, you're out of date, you need to catch up with the times. Men now are happy to worship at the buffet of 304dom and, just grovel on our knees hoping to break off a piece. Fuck you.
Bring back dueling.
There you go.
Bring back dueling. I'm
Yep.
sick of this shit.
Scroll down Dennis's X feed and you'll see what I'm talking about. Over the past few weeks, he has relentlessly targeted Paul's fiancée, Nina Agdal, posting photographs of her with her exes, digging out Instagram posts in which she is somewhat scantily dressed. She's a model, a nude model, just in case anybody was curious. If you want to know just how modest she is, Google Nina Agdal nude. You're welcome.
There you go.
Claiming that he could put any prize money toward HIV medication pills for Nina's exes, implying that she has dated everyone she has ever been photographed with and calling her a whore.
Well, hang on.
Not for nothing, but I'm just saying.
All right, hang on. I looked at some of these pictures, and I would say that's an accurate assumption. Just saying.
Yes.
It's just my opinion.
Oh, I absolutely think that you're correct. I've seen the pictures myself. I know exactly what's been going on there, and yeah, and not for nothing, but the stereotype of models banging their photographers became a stereotype for a reason.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
happen.
Yeah, I looked at a list of her ex-boyfriends, just the cavalcade of Kawantaha between the few dudes that I knew of. I mean, just imagine all of that disease duplication being ramrodded through the same chick, one after the other.
Yeah, listen.
Woo!
Well, first of all, if you get enough deliveries to the warehouse from a bunch of different trucks and drivers, at some point you're going to wind up catching something that doesn't go away.
Yep. And we're going to get to that later. You better believe it.
Oh yeah, I love it when we have the receipts, man.
Oh yeah. This tsunami of salute shaming nestles between other insults, such as mocking Paul's failed NFT project, CryptoZoo. In return, Paul has taunted Dennis about his dead father. Most fans will therefore see the cracks about Nina Agdal's professional wrestling style kayfabe, building up the hype for the fight so that Paul is trying to not just win the match, but defend his honor. Well, he better defend his frickin' insurance paperwork for all the medication he's going to need to clean out his penis. Pro wrestling is a highly choreographed sport. Many fights are billed as grudge matches, and the Paul brothers' internet-era innovation has been to bring its obsession with storylines to boxing. In 2019, Logan Paul claimed at a press conference that KSI's family didn't love him. 4 years on, the two men own a sports drink company, Prime, together. Well, good for them, because once, that's typical dude stuff, though.
Yeah.
You fight, and then when you're done fighting, you bury the match. You go get a beer.
And you get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, unless they did something like deeply personal, most guys are just like, okay, it's done.
So just to recap, gentlemen, we are now 7 paragraphs deep, and we still have not seen her even attempt to defend her thesis.
Because it's propaganda.
It's indefensible.
Yeah.
But one person who apparently doesn't find the post funny is Agdal herself. On September 6th, she filed for an injunction under New Jersey's revenge Ornpay laws, accusing Dennis of posting a non-consensual, sexually explicit photograph of her. Again, Google her if you think that she's modest. Displaying full frontal nudity. Google her. To millions of social media users in the course of a relentless and ongoing campaign of cyber harassment and bullying.
Right. Hang on. All right. First of all, the internet is forever. So you need to be careful with what you put out there.
She did this to herself.
Yeah.
She was granted a temporary restraining order. Dennis deleted that photo, but falsely claimed that Agdal was trying to put him in jail while she is seeking damages. This is actually wild, he added in a post that, according to X, has been viewed 18 million times. Dennis presented the lawsuit at his opponent's camp, trying to tank the October 14th fight, adding, Logan Paul is a dead man walking.
Listen, this is nothing new.
Nope.
Wrestling, boxing has always had shit talkers. And you know who the best shit talker was? Muhammad Ali.
Mm-hmm.
This is nothing new.
No. And I'm sure it's all a well-orchestrated publicity campaign, because 99% of the time, it's exactly what this stuff is.
Yeah, they want to sell more tickets. And yeah, I understand it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm all for capitalism.
Yeah.
Now, this next paragraph here is my absolute favorite, and I'll explain why when we're finished with it. In feminist circles, already, like, if she didn't have any credibility before, now she just dug underneath the bottom of the barrel. She's down with the worms and all of the buried dinosaur shit. Mm-hmm. Dennis's behavior would be classified as DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim, and defender. The sympathetic character in his version of the story is himself, a man threatened with jail for engaging merely in some lighthearted badinage. Shh, don't mention that it was at the expense of a woman who never asked to be involved with this circus. When Agdal understandably complained about becoming the focus of his fans' aggression, Dennis called upon 2020's favorite misogynist trope. Nina Agdal will be called Karen Agdal until further notice. Okay. Shall I explain why this is my favorite paragraph? Okay. DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender. Okay. Helen Lewis, the author of this article, has denied that a woman's body count matters. She has attacked anyone who insists that it does, and now she wants to claim that women are the victims of their own decisions because men are trying to hold them accountable. Thank you. I'm here till Thursday. Bye-bye. In other words, go fuck yourself.
Wow.
Just saying.
Talk about turning it around on her. Jesus.
Well, The thing is, when you read articles like this, you have to be prepared for a level of cognitive disconnect that's going to give you a headache. And this woman fits that to a T.
Got to shoot up some copium.
It's super good. I'm going to snort some too. Oh, yeah. Oh, we got some Tony Montana copium up in this motherfucker. Woo!
I don't know.
I can't be the only one who thought we left overt, unapologetic sexism like this behind. Where?
All right. When I read this, when you sent me the links earlier today, that was one of the sentences about the sexism thing that stood out to me.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on. All right, listen. Again, this article's propaganda. It's trying to drive you down a certain thought path for a end result of some type, which is not going to work out.
No.
No.
Blame and shame can only take an argument so far. Just because she's putting factually accurate pieces of information about these dudes in here does not mean that her conclusions drawn from those facts are accurate, especially when she does not attempt to prove the thesis where these facts are allegedly relevant, which they're clearly not.
No. Well, she's not defending them at all.
No,
she's
at all.
attacking.
What is most striking about Dennis's feed is how masculine his world seems, because masculinity is now apparently an ad hominem.
It's the new white hood that you wear with,
Yeah.
putting a cross on somebody's front yard.
Oh yeah, they're trying to popularize the term gym cell now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just goes to show you how pathetic the modern leftoid has become. Life is a competition between men, and women are just the prizes or the liabilities. Well, we know they're not the prize, so yeah. Tate, whose public comments give little indication that he enjoys spending time with women, shows the same attitude. Spoken like a true person who has never listened to the man speak. Maybe these guys are obsessed with body counts because they treat life as one giant scoreboard. Coming from a woman, that's rich.
Yep.
Ask any dude who's ever been divorced whether or not his woman kept score, and that's what led to the divorce. I dare you. I triple dog dare you.
We did a video on this called The Fight Bank.
Yes, we did.
Women never forget shit. They pull stuff up from like decades prior. I told you not to go hunting while I was having a baby. That was 15 years ago. I don't care. Like, oh my God. Oh.
You told me I could go.
Wish I knew better. Oh my God.
How dare you? Oh man.
Listen, dude. We've all heard it. You've been there, especially if you're divorced.
Whether or not Dana sees his foes as kayfabe is irrelevant. So now the person's own motivations are irrelevant. At least some portion of his audience won't, because he's tapping into well-established anti-feminist talking points. In this worldview, the most humiliating thing that could happen to a man is failing to control his woman, an attitude that puts men into a torturous position of constant precarity. Other humans are by definition uncontrollable, no matter how much you intimidate them or patrol their behavior. But tell that to the late millennial and Gen Z influencers trying to shame women so that they will behave and not embarrass the men who are deemed to be in charge of them. Wow, that's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, in charge.
And it's all bullshit.
It is.
Men having standards is not controlling behavior. It is letting you know as a woman that we are thinking of as a prospective mate what we will tolerate and what we won't.
That's right. And
that's
listen,
not ownership, and that's not being in charge of you. That's having standards, which apparently women are allowed to have, no matter how unrealistic, and men are not.
Yeah. Well, here's another thing. As you get older as a man, honor and respect become much more important to you.
Oh yeah.
And it's hard to maintain your honor and respect if you have a woman on your arm who everyone else has been riding around for years. And don't like that. It interrupts with our peace and tranquility, which is very important to us once we get to start playing on the back nine.
Oh yeah, and in modernity, it is hard fought for.
Yeah.
Very hard fought for. Thank you, Bidenomics. Oh, we got more. How is there still more? Miso G Whiny occupies a sweet spot in our culture. It is frowned upon enough to make young men trading off it feel edgy, but it's typically less taken seriously than racism. Citation needed.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the racism that they're going on about was pretty much done in the early 70s.
Yeah.
It doesn't really exist anymore. They're just looking for whatever reason to get upset about.
Yep. It's quite redonkulous, actually.
Yes.
And I'm sure that there's a lot of dudes rotting in prison from a woman's accusation exclusively with no evidence who would very much disagree that it's taken less seriously than racism. So you could take that and shove it up your ass, Helen Lewis. Its post-Me Too resurgence has led to members of the influential jerkweb coming out with phrases you might have thought died out with 19th century laws on acceptable forms of wife beating. Wow, so now we're going to go into that blame and shame on full tilt. In 2021, the live streamer Sneeko notoriously confessed that he had watched his girlfriend have sex with another man at a party and told the peer-to-peer podcast, "It felt like somebody was taking something from me, like someone was violating my property." He was at pains to note that wanting to watch another man have sex in no way it suggested that he was bisexual, which suggests a brittle borderline homophobia is also part of the deal. Oh, please.
So the guy felt like somebody was taking something from him?
Because he was.
He was. Taking your fucking self-respect, you dumbass.
And leaving a deposit of DNA behind.
Yeah, dude. God
Don't you love how she's trying to fold like the polyamory shit into this? If you are unwilling to watch another man plow your woman, well, then you're just homophobic and you're problematic and you need to get with the times and man up. Give me a break.
I have no idea what a man is.
No, they don't. And they've been telling us forever, we don't know what a woman is. No uterus, no opinion, right? Well, take your own advice.
That's right.
Ridiculous. Two other things are worth noting about the body count discourse. The first is that some people on the edges of the influential jerk web have consciously rejected its exhausting sexual monitoring of women. The left-wing streamer, why that's relevant, who the fuck knows? For example, was raised Catholic but is now in an open relationship. His partner, Melina Goranson, regularly mocks Dennis and other bro streamers and recently retweeted a post by another user that read, "Quickly now, do some push-ups. That's how we change the world. Now go home and call women whores for not acknowledging your existence and making their own money."
Wow.
So what you're telling me is that polyamorous people are so far up their own asses that they don't even have the slightest bit of like critical thinking skills.
Well, that's what it sounds like here.
How is this actually mocking anyone successfully?
Not really.
Doing push-ups now is toxic masculinity. Everyone who works out calls women hooers.
But the thing is, at this portion of the article that you're reading, she's literally run out of anything she can logic jam with. There is no argument. Literally, from now on, the rest of this is all just drivel.
It is. It's all just shame and drivel. None of it actually, there's no points being made here. It's all attack. The whole thing is attack. She does not attempt to defend her points at all. It's pathetic.
Well,
the second thing...
go ahead. It's propaganda.
Exactly. This is meant to elicit an emotional response from people who already agree with her. This is not going to change anybody's mind. The second thing is that in accordance with Rule 34 of the internet, the straight male anxiety that Dennis and Tate are tapping into has been translated into Ornpay. One of those joining the pushback against Dylan Dennis was the influencer Adam Grandmaison, better known as Adam22. If you know who he is, you're probably laughing already. He has a podcast with his wife, Lena Nersessian, or Lena the Plug, where they interview a female Ornpay actor and then sleep with her. Last month, though, Nersessian slept with another man instead. Amid all the mockery about Lena's body count and how Adam was a cuck, the video went viral. So viral that he bought her a $400,000 Lamborghini to celebrate its success.
Yep.
Tate criticized them, telling the former Fox News host Tucker Carlson that this is what the Matrix wants from you as a man. They want the woman in charge and the man below with no backbone. I would argue in nearly any household where the female is dominant, everyone is vaccinated. Unfazed, the couple went on a podcast with Tate and invited him to take part in a threesome. Tate declined. I would too. Who would want to get in the middle of that worm pile?
You don't want to get in that worm pile, man. You don't want none of that.
You have any idea how many diseases are probably floating between those two? Ugh.
Yeah, and I remember Pearl did an episode about this guy after he bought her the car. What a spineless octopus cuck.
Yep.
Wow.
Hey, you know what? He made his own bed and he invited someone else to lie in it.
That's right.
What are you gonna do? And you know what? Like I said, I'm a capitalist, so the fact that he made money off of this catastrophic blunder that will inevitably lead to a divorce, good on him.
Yeah. Well, he
When
did.
she advanced half the car, he can cut it in half with a chainsaw.
First of
And then,
all,
of course, the house is already divided firmly in half. He gets the outside, she gets the inside.
yeah. But that car is probably going to get totaled or wasted or something.
Probably giving someone else other than him roadhead in a construction zone. The intense interest in Grand Mason and Nersessian's relationship makes sense. If the worst thing you can say to a man is that his partner is a hero, then there's money on the table for whoever will admit to reveling in his wife's high body count. And that's the real lesson here. The internet has smashed all kinds of taboos, but without taboos, how can people feel the thrill of breaking them? The influential jerkweb has brought back sexual shame not just to control women, but to extract pleasure from doing so.
All right. Hang on a minute. All right. The marriage rates are at a historical low right now. I think it's 5.1 out of 1,000 people are getting married because there's no upside to it. More than likely, the woman you decide to marry has been with at least 10 people. So the chances of her staying in a long-term marriage are very slim. So in the grand scheme of things, you have to be choosy in regards to the dick stacking test. There's a reason I came up with that. That was 8 years ago I came up with that?
Yeah, at least.
Because I was guilty of it myself. I didn't pay attention. And I almost paid the ultimate price for it.
Yep.
This is very important.
It is. And that is the entire article. At any point in all of that mindless drivel, does she ever actually defend what it is she set out to say?
Nope.
Or prove it in any way, shape, or form?
It's all just opinion.
Yep. And with that being said, we're going to prove her wrong with 4 graphs.
Here we go.
At one time.
Because you know what? We bring the receipts.
I'm sure these are coming through a little hazy because of my internet issue, but I'm going to read them all to you so that you can understand exactly what's up. The graph on the top left is women who have more non-marital sexual partners are more likely to be infected with sexually transmitted diseases. So the smallest one on the left is 3.63%. That's if you've had no partners whatsoever outside of the person that you marry. Those are your odds of contracting an STD. Once you get over 20 partners, that number goes up to 41.89%.
And where are these stats found?
The CDC, National Center for Health Statistics, and the National Survey of Family Growth. They're all corroborated across the board.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, it's even worse. The top right graph is women who have more non-marital sexual partners are less likely to have stable marriages. So if your woman, if you are her one and only, and you write a check against it, you have an 80% chance of success. I'd call that pretty good.
Well, you have an 80% chance of staying married.
Yes, you have an 80% chance of staying married.
Yeah, I don't even know what the percentage is if you'd actually be happy and content. It's probably fairly low.
Between 16 and 20 partners, that number drops to 17.8%.
Yep.
And it's a precipitous drop.
Wow.
Bottom left graph here. Bottom left graph. Women who have more non-marital sexual partners are less likely to be happy.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, over half of women, 55.8%, are happy having just one partner, their husband. I mean, not all marriages are happy, and shit happens, you know. Most people are just not happy with themselves, and they expect other people to make them happy. There you go.
Yeah.
But you go down the list here, I mean, just with one extra partner, that drops by more than 10%. And then it continues to drop until 20 plus partners, you have a 31.9% chance of actually feeling happy. Explains the head meds. In fact, it explains it almost exactly because about a third of Western women are on head meds.
Yeah, listen, there's girls walking across the stage to get their high school diploma who have the 1,000 cock stare already.
Yep.
That is going to be one hell of a long, miserable life.
Yes, it will.
If these stats play out.
Oh, it gets even better. The last study here on the bottom right, women who have more non-marital sexual partners are more likely to be depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Depression hits women who have only one sexual partner, their husband, 2.8% of the time.
Wow.
That's it. At the peak, 16 to 20 sexual partners, 8.3% chance of thorough depression. Boom.
So what you're trying to say is the more penises that stir up the chemical pot, the greater the chance of a mental illness.
Just a bit.
Okay. I got you.
Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing what facts will do to just like upset the balance of your whole day?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing when it comes to facts, all right? The numbers and stuff. I did 33 years in the military. I used to bet my life and bet the lives of my men based on, the numbers and the stats. And I never lost a dude. So if you want to succeed, you got to pay attention to the stats.
Exactly.
I mean, 40% chance of some type of, sexually transmitted, crotch critters or whatever. That is nothing to be sneezed at. And it's very similar to the same stat for swingers.
Exactly.
Like 45% of swingers, after they've been doing it for over 5 years, have, they have the warts or they have the herp or they have both.
The warts.
Yeah.
It's bad news bears, man. Very much bad news bears.
They got the Amy Whartons and,
Yep. What are you going to do? But before we end this and go to new tech, we're going to read some of your chats, of course. And again, dudes, like, don't be shy about sending in the videos. Okay, we're not going to watch them tonight. We are going to archive them and create whole streams based on them. So don't be shy about that. But we want to know your thoughts on these articles. And if you just have any random questions for us or stories, send them on over. We love to read them. But before we do that, I just have one last thing to say to Helen Lewis for writing this god-awful piece of shit.
I'm not being funny. I mean, no disrespect. But you're the cunt. You're the cunt now. You've always been a cunt. And the only thing that's going to change is you're going to become an even bigger cunt.
Sorry, I had to do it. And by the way, In Bruges is a great movie. If you haven't watched it, you're missing out. Oh, what a day. Oh, we got Bart Fine in the chat says, when she says, F me, say no and destroy her EGP.
EGP.
I have no idea what that means. Is that an acronym for something I don't know about?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Advocate Dad from Australia says, I've just sent you an email for some song lyrics that I have rewritten for you. It's clean, but hopefully funny. All right, let's check it out. I got to open up your email here. Actually, I don't have that yet. If it'll let me.
Well,
yes, reload the site, please, and thank you. I love when that happens. All right, here we go. Here we go. Check this out here. Advocate Dad, I know I've seen you sending emails before. I will let you know, though, that I am not seeing it. It has not arrived, and it's not in my email either. So please give that a resend if you could, good sir. It is not here yet. I hate when that happens.
It happens all the time, actually.
We did have a Cash App from Mike the Big Bad Wolf. He says, can't watch live, but will the restream. Thank you very much, good sir. Much appreciated. Oh, and Suzanne McCarley sent in a Locals subscription. Outstanding. Thank you very much, Suzanne. Outstanding. All right. Yeah, that's it for the YouTube chats and even for the emails for now. We did get one email earlier from Iron Riddle. I can read that before we take a quick break here. It's called Shit Children Say. I was in the store with my 3-year-old daughter and a creepy bull dyke, a 3 or 3.5 with a buzz cut, short brown hair was checking out my daughter. My daughter is very cute and full of energy, so she usually turns heads wherever we go. But I kept her real close to be safe. She has long golden hair where I have dark hair. The woman looked at me and then her and then asked her in a context that had me thinking she was contesting my paternity. How come you have blonde hair? My daughter looked at the short, fat woman from a few angles. She must have caught the creepy vibe and then fires back, because I'm pretty and you're not.
Nice.
That was good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. That's cool, man. Yeah, it's a little after 9 o'clock here. We're going to take a little break and go and empty our squirrel bladders. We still got 448 watching over on YouTube, 739 and climbing on Rumble. Screw you. 32 watching on Odyssey, MGTOW.tv. The best chat on the web has 63, just 6 short of the magic number, and 8 short of you wanting fingers in your ass, you friggin' queers. And we got 21 on D Live, 8 on Twitch, and Kick is rocking. Hang on, I got to do a reload. If it'll even let me, because my internet is being crap. 6. I'll take it. All right. Send us your questions, dudes, over on those other sites. Shoot us some emails, what have you. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with the real spicy business. See you in a bit. Enjoy the tunes.